What's up, Browns fans? The 2021 NFL Draft is finally here. Thank you for tuning in to the Browns Live Draft Party 2021 presented by Graham and Fists Wine in a Can. And you know it's a big night when you see this guy here in Berea, folks. Bo Bishop, what a triumphant return. It's great to be with you. What a night we're in store for, huh?
Yeah, it really is. It's so exciting to be here. It's been so long since you and I have been together in the building. We have this crazy day in the NFL where we have this Aaron Rodgers news kind of looming over everything that's stealing the thunder. But this was a draft that you're wondering, where are these quarterbacks going to go? Will there be a bunch of trades today in round one? You wonder exactly where will these guys be picked? All the while in Cleveland, we're on center stage. And what did I not mention? The Browns, because we're picking 26. So we're sitting and waiting, and it's going to be a long night, but an exciting night.
It is, and Andrew Berry has done a great job kind of assembling this roster throughout free agency, addressing things on the defense, and we'll get into some of those moves later on. But as you mentioned, normally we've been picking at the top. This is because we're good. This is where you want to be picking in the draft. You don't need that excitement of a top 10 pick. Here you are at 26. You've got 9 picks on the night. 2 picks in the 3rd round, 2 picks in the 4th round as well. So this could be a time when the Browns maybe move up. We have that ammo to do so, certainly there late on day 2, early day 3, or we can stand pat, we can move around. A lot of flexibility, no glaring needs. You may look at corner, receiver, edge, etc., but nothing glaring like last year. And now we can kind of sit back, relax, let the chaos happen, and let it come to us.
Yeah, it's a strange place, I think, for a lot of us, for the fan base, for us, for everything, the organization. It's an awesome place. You wouldn't change it for anything. It means you don't have any question marks, right? But the thing that's really interesting is you can kind of sit there and wait and let it come to you. And you used to have to say, we got to get a difference maker. We got to get a franchise guy. You don't have to anymore. We already have those guys. They're drafted. They're in orange and brown. So let's get some complimentary guys and get some guys that can be here for a long time and be part of the foundation for a long time.
Yeah, you heard Andrew Berry at his press conference said we're drafting for this year, but we're also drafting for the future. Tomorrow's needs might not be today's needs, and that kind of leaves the door open for the Browns to go any which way. And who knows more about these draft prospects than our guest here on Browns Live, presented by Graham and Fists Wine in a Can from The Athletic, Dane Brugler. The answer, nobody. Dane, thank you so much for joining us on the program here tonight. And before we get into the Browns, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers turning the NFL on its head and saying, oh, you want to talk about the draft? No, you're going to talk about me. And Green Bay Packers, thanks, I'll see you later. What did you make of that news, and what does that mean for teams that are looking for quarterbacks? You got to imagine they're looking now for Aaron Rodgers.
Some questionable timing, that's for sure. Why now? Why the night of the 1st round? I just trying to make a big splash, I guess. But it certainly feels like this is serious for the Packers. This is not something that will just go away, so it's something they need to address. I think last year drafting Jordan Love in the 1st round, that really is what started all this. And instead of really investing in that Green Bay offense and really going for it, helping Aaron Rodgers try to win a title. Really, in the peak of his career, they went and tried to draft his replacement, which, it could point to the deja vu and Brett Favre and when Aaron Rodgers was drafted back in 2005. But it just sure seems like the Packers dropped the ball on this, and now they have some serious cleanup to do to keep Aaron Rodgers happy and keep him in Green Bay.
Dan, I think the interesting thing you have to ask is, could this impact tonight? And I think it could. You think about Denver at 9. It seems like the Raiders are a team reportedly that he would say, yeah, I'd go there. Obviously the 49ers at 3. But that seems like the hay's in the barn on that, Dane. I guess let's focus on Denver. If they're not in the position for quarterback and that ends up going Green Bay, if something like that could happen tonight, couldn't this just send chaos throughout the draft?
Oh, it certainly would. It would be a shock, honestly, if we see Aaron Rodgers dealt tonight. If he's not dealt tonight, it's probably not going to happen just because of the draft capital that it would take to acquire Aaron Rodgers, an MVP caliber player in this league. Even though he is aging, he still can play at an MVP level. And, we just got done seeing Tampa Bay invest with Tom Brady and say, hey, yeah, we might in 3 years, we might be in trouble with our roster. But you know what? Let's go for it now. And the Packers not doing that. And so they need to really show Aaron Rodgers that is their priority. It's not 3 years from now. It's right now. Let's win. And so can they do that, or is Aaron Rodgers going to stick to his guns? I would be surprised if we saw a trade tonight, even though I know this has been bubbling for a while. This isn't a complete shock to everybody in the NFL. But still, to see a trade with Aaron Rodgers tonight would be a pretty big surprise. But you're right. Chaos certainly would be we'd be remembering this draft because of that.
And it's so nice for the Browns that we're out of this chaos. We're just chilling. You guys go have your chaos, discuss amongst yourselves. We're going to be here waiting for this draft to come to us. And Dane, as you look at the Browns, we've talked many times already throughout this process. But as we get here today, any trends you're starting to hear or see? It seems, at least it feels to us, maybe it's because we want a cornerback, that it seems like the corners are maybe going to come off the board quicker than previously anticipated.
Well, I think those first two corners are going to be gone pretty quickly. The Cowboys at 10, at what point they were trying to figure out, do we take Horn? Do we take Patrick Surtain? Now there's a possibility that both could be off the board before we even get to that 10th pick. And then where do we see that next corner off the board? Caleb Farley is such a wild card out of Virginia Tech because of the medicals. I think talent-wise, he is the best corner in this draft. Wow. But because of the medical red flags, it's anybody's guess where he falls. Greg Newsome, we've talked about him before, how much of a talent he is. Young player, disruptive. The football intelligence is off the charts. We could see teams 16 Arizona, the Chicago Bears at 20, the Colts at 21, the Jets at 23. There are plenty of landmines in front of the Browns for Greg Newsome to fall to them at 26. But then where do we see that a fifth corner off the board? Could we see one of those Georgia corners, whether it's Tyson Campbell, whether it's Eric Stokes? It would be really interesting to see how many corners actually end up going in the first round tonight.
So, Dane, if there is a run on corners, then where can Andrew Berry make some hay here tonight? What is the position that, we talk about receiver, we talk about defensive end, we talk about elite traits, maybe at one of those linebacker guys, Collins or JOK, if one of those guys were to fall. What's the most likely scenario in your mind of somebody who checks the elite trait box if there is a big run on corners?
You look at pass rusher, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Add another guy to this rotation, can put him out there, groom him for the future. And it comes down to, with Jalen Phillips, just like the Caleb Farley conversation, comes down to the medicals. How comfortable are you with the concussion history and the fact that he has missed time? Jason Owe, Azeez Ojulari. And then you look at linebacker, and I don't know that they're really looking to go linebacker at 26, but if the right linebacker were to fall to them, whether that's a Zaven Collins, whether that's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the value might be too great to pass him up at that point. And these guys they're different. They're hybrids. They're not your usual stack linebackers. Zaven Collins can do a little bit of everything. 260, 270 pounds. He is a big boy. He's kind of in that Willie McGinnis role where you want to let him put his hand on the ground, let him rush, let him drop in coverage. You can do so many different things with Collins. And then Owusu-Koramoah, a little bit of the opposite, where he's going to line up in the slot. He's going to be able to cover. He's almost like a box player for you. So I don't think that the Browns are going into this first round say, okay, linebacker is definitely our target. But if the right guy were to be there at 26, I think the value might be too great, and that's where they could go if the board falls just quite right.
As we kind of look at this draft and say, okay, 26, you've got that. You also have 59 in the second round. You got 2 picks in the third round. So you have the ability to maybe move up in the second round if you wanted to as well. What do you kind of see as the position targets and for the way that it would fall if, let's say, corner isn't the option in round 1? What do you think the sweet spot for corners in round 2? You mentioned the Georgia guys. You got Melifonwu out of Syracuse and other names, Elijah Molden from Washington, Adebo from Stanford, guys who could maybe be in that mix there in the second round. Where is kind of the sweet spot, you think, for that corner position if you don't go at 26 and still want to get one? And Asante Samuel Jr. as well, maybe early in round 2.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you just laid it out. There are plenty of talented corners where if they don't get their guy in the first round, I think they feel okay going into day 2 with their options. And I don't know that there really is necessarily a sweet spot because, like you just mentioned, the position stretches so much that they don't necessarily have to move up 20 spots to get their guy. Maybe you end up moving 3 or 4 spots just to make sure that ensure that you do get the specific corner that you want. But it's a position that will stretch with all those names that you mentioned. Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky, another one, Aaron Robinson from UCF. So say we only see 4 corners, say 5 corners go in the first round. There's a good chance we could see 6, 7, 8 go in that second round. And so I think the Browns would be in a good shape too. If they want to move up, maybe trade a fourth rounder to move up, 3 spots, 4 spots to ensure they get their guy, that would make sense. If they specifically like one of those corners, package one of those 3s, move up 10 spots, 11 spots. I think that's a possibility as well. But I don't think they have to because this cornerback class is so deep in the first 60 picks.
Yeah, Dane, we have 9 picks, and it's hard to imagine 9 guys. I think it's impossible that 9 guys would make this roster. So then you start to wonder, and this could be a possibility, and I know I'm not putting you on the spot. I know you haven't done the homework yet on 2022, but I'm wondering, just from a perception standpoint, we hear that 2022 is a loaded class. So could this be time for teams that have the patience, who don't have a lot of needs, to look to get into 2022 with more options?
There's no question. And I think we're going to see a lot of smart front offices try to do that. I've been kind of preaching that through the process. The problem is I think there's going to be several teams that are going to try and do this. So there's going to be plenty of competition. In the past, it's probably easier to trade a 4th for next year's 3rd. This year it might not be as easy because I think a lot of teams are looking at those 2022 picks as really being hot commodities. And it's not just the class we have next year, but just more information, having a combine, having area scouts on the road in the fall to get all this relevant information. The chances of hitting on players next year, theoretically, are a little bit better. So I think it would be very, very a good chance that we see the Browns try and do that. Whether or not they're able to is another question, although I do think that we're going to see smart teams like the Browns try to recoup some of those 2022 picks.
Dane, thanks so much for the time, the great insights. I urge everybody watching to download his Beast, the best draft guide on the planet, so you can know something about everybody who is drafted here over the next 3 days. And Dane will join us on Saturday's edition of Browns Live, breaking down what has actually happened. But when we return on the Browns Live Draft Party presented by Graham and Fist Wine in a Can, the Coach of the Year, your head coach, Kevin Stefanski, live.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of Man Can Wine.
And Graham and Fist, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Awards.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
Wendy's new jalapeno popper chicken sandwich and salad prove Wendy's goes all in on flavor. Unlike...
we put a bun inside the sandwich. Bun, bun, bun.
Hurry into Wendy's and try the new jalapeno popper chicken duo today.
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm putting extra spring in our spring cleaning sale.
Is that what you call it?
During our spring cleaning sale,
lease a new Trax for $99 a month or a new Equinox for $149 a month.
And get our free 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
If you're worried about bad credit, no problem. We can help.
So if you're thinking Chevy,
think Serpentini in Westlake, Medina, Willoughby Hills, Talmadge, Orville, and Strongsville.
American
and proud of it. Pretty good springs for an old guy.
Great philosopher Socrates once said, "To find yourself, think for yourself." Great philosopher Arby's once said, "Y'all ever put spicy sauce on a 2 for €6? Arby's, we have the meats.
Discount Drug Mart is your trusted hometown healthcare provider and your immunization destination. And now Drug Mart is your convenient, quick, and safe destination for the COVID-19 vaccine. Simply register for your free vaccine at covid.discount-drugmart.com. No endlessly searching for an appointment. We will contact you in the way that works best for you. Then you will choose the date and time to schedule your vaccination. Simple as that. Discount Drug Mart is proud to serve our communities.
No matter how early you're up or how late you're running, when you start your day at Speedway, we've got what you need to have a good morning. We've got it hot, we've got it cold, we've got it sprinkled, we've got it ready. We're here to make your morning a little better. Because when you get off to a better start, you go on to a better day. The official convenience store of the Cleveland Browns.
Wendy's new jalapeno popper chicken sandwich and salad prove Wendy's goes all in on flavor. Unlike...
we put a bun inside the sandwich. Bun, bun, bun.
Hurry into Wendy's and try the new jalapeno popper chicken duo today.
All right, welcome back into Browns Live Draft Special presented by Graham and Fiss Wine in a Can. Nathan Zagura, Bo Bishop, and a man who needs no introduction, but he'll get one anyway because he is the reigning Coach of the Year and the Coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski. Coach, draft night is here. I know it's probably more like AB's game day as you were sharing with us before, but let's talk about just this offseason in general. How do you feel about some of the moves that have been made and the state of this team right now?
First of all, great to be physically.
Oh, my goodness, it's so nice.
I'm used to seeing you in a box like that big. So I tell you, Nathan, it's been an exciting offseason. You mentioned Andrew. I think he and his staff did a great job identifying guys that would fit us and schematic fits, cultural fits. So we feel really good about it. I feel like we added guys to every level of the defense in that regard. And then with the draft coming up, we got to add more. And that's kind of how we look at it. We got to add a bunch of good players to this team, maybe create some competition at some positions, which is always good.
Coach, we had a conversation with Joe Woods a couple of weeks ago on Cleveland Browns Daily, and he was talking about some of the base defense that we've had to play last year and the amount of snaps that we played in dime, 17. Yeah. And he said it was over 400 that they played when he was in Denver. And all of a sudden you get John Johnson, you get Hill, and you go, okay, well now Joe can do what he wants to do defensively. And just from that perspective, first of all, it made us appreciate how great Joe Woods was last year, considering kind of what we had to do. But in terms of opening thing up for you guys and being versatile, do these guys address those things the way you wanted?
I think, Bo, that's the key word, versatility. And for the offense, when you have multiple tight ends, that gives you versatility. It allows you to line up in a one-back set, a two-back set, an empty set. When you add a guy like John Johnson and Troy Hill, and having Grant come back and feeling great about Ronnie. These guys are all versatile. They can play in the post, they can play quarters, they can play down in the box, they can cover a tight end. That does give Joe and the defensive staff, they now have guys that they can move around. And I think that's key. If you don't have those guys, you're going to be limited to what you can do.
I was talking with Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, getting ready for the draft week. He joined us, and I asked him, I said, when you have the three safeties and the versatility, he said, disguise is the last thing defenses have left in the NFL. Yeah. And he was saying, related to offense, kind of like you did. When you have those multiple personnels, they don't know if you're running it, they don't know if you're passing it. You can create mismatches, and with those guys now, blitzes can come from anywhere. Somebody can be single high this time, in the box the next play. And that's fun, and you're going to get to kind of feel all that out, though, once you guys get these guys on the grass, which is going to be neat.
Exactly right. And I think versatility, being multiple, the way we want to play the Cleveland Browns style of football, both on offense and defense, is we want to be multiple. We don't ever want to be accused of that defense that stays in one front, one coverage for the entire game. And some people can do that. That's not us. And we don't want to be, all right, we're in 21 personnel, we're running this play over and over. That's just not us. We want to be multiple. And I think Andrew and his staff, again, are bringing guys in here that we can move around. And then, like you said, once you get them on the grass, we got to see what fits. And that's part of our job also, to see what skill set does this guy have that we can utilize, and how much. This guy's a 10-play-a-game guy because we can do this. So that's the fun part. And then the real fun part is when you get him out there on the field and start working.
We've asked 3 questions. Jadeveon Clowney's name has not been brought up. That tells you how good the offseason's been. And you want to talk about versatility, Coach. Obviously, the former #1 pick in the draft, defensive end and all of that. But inside, and we've talked about this a lot, inside, he really thrives. And that, again, goes to the word versatility and the things you can do. You think about putting him on the same defensive line with Myles Garrett, and you go, boy, that's going to be a problem.
He's been a disruptive player in his career. And he's disrupted both as a defensive end, lined up as a 3 technique. He stood up and lined up over the center. So I just see a guy that you can really move along the front, and he affects the game. And he affects the game versus the run, versus the pass, applying pressure to the quarterback, using his length, I think, is a big deal. As teams are playing so horizontal nowadays, I think having a guy that can set an edge with some length and longer arms, I think it bodes well for our defense.
It does, and the idea of having Myles and Jadeveon and Tack McKinley and Malik Jackson out there. You don't want to be third and long against these Browns. I want to share something with you that John Johnson said to me, and I've been here, 9 years, and no free agent has ever said this to me, and I shared this with Joe Thomas and a lot of former players, and it almost brought a tear to some grown men's eyes. So I had asked John about the report that, he had been offered more money elsewhere and chose to come to the Browns. And he said to me, he goes, why would I chase a few dollars and pass up the opportunity of a lifetime to play for the Cleveland Browns? And I can tell you, thank you, and I know our fans out there say thank you. changing the perception of this organization, the culture. When you have that impact, and that's the vibe out in LA, what does that say to you about where you've brought this culture and where everybody, I know you'll never say it was me, the whole organization and operation that you've put here, to have that thought from somebody like John Johnson, who's been part of a very winning team with the Rams?
I mean, it wasn't me, but I think it's for Andrew Berry, the coaching staff. I mean, just think of the players that we brought in last year into that locker room, the draft picks that we had. I think, and I've said this before, and I've probably said it to you guys, culture is people. And I think we have the right people. John Johnson is another, add him to the mix. That's the right type of person. That's what we want a Cleveland Brown to look like, both in play and off the field. So I think when you are able to add players like John to a locker room that I feel really strongly about, that is when you start to build your culture, and that's what we're trying to do.
Coach, you mentioned off air, Nathan alluded to it earlier, this idea of this is Andrew's night. And I'm wondering if you could put yourself in his shoes, because from your vantage point as a coach, we know how hard you prepare as much as anybody, but you get a game every week, and then you get to flush it, and then you get another game. He's got a whole year for this weekend. Yeah, and then you think about our scouts.
And not to mention he had a baby this morning.
That's right, congratulations, AB. That's right, yeah. So,
Eden Ruth.
By the way, pretty good job to be able to make all that work.
Unbelievable.
First pick early. First pick came in early.
Right.
We're good.
It's safe.
So mom and baby are doing great. But yeah, we're here to support Andrew. That's the beauty of what he does. His role is, and I say this sometimes, you can apply this to the quarterback. Everybody wants, or to the coach too. Everybody wants the responsibility. Nobody wants the accountability. Yeah. Andrew's the guy. He's got the responsibility, and he wants it. And he wants the decision is made by him. So this first pick, and then the second pick, and the third pick, that's what he was brought here to do. And I think he does a great job. And what I love about, and what our staff loves about working with Andrew and his group, it's everybody works together. We collaborate, and then he pulls the trigger. He's the guy, and I'm here to support him. And I think he's ready to go.
And I know it's been a very collaborative process. Now, we're sitting here talking about a Browns team that was tremendous on offense down the stretch. We haven't even mentioned the offense yet.
No.
Not at all. And we've talked to a lot of people who have never played in the league, covered the league, never seen a team run it back. Top 5 receivers, top 7 offensive linemen, all 4 tight ends, top 3 running backs, top 2 quarterbacks, every single coach running it back. And obviously you can add some talent here tonight or the next couple of days, but have you ever been a part of anything like that? And in the meetings, what's it been like? Because they all know the deal.
Yeah, you're right. It has been kind of unique in those offensive meetings so far. We're talking through some plays. I think I would tell you, we haven't jumped ahead to installs just yet in some of these meetings because we don't feel like we have to. We can really spend some time on what we did well, what we didn't do well last year, and hammer into those things from a schematic technique standpoint. Then the installs will come. But I think we feel good, obviously, about bringing that coaching staff back on the offensive side of the ball, bringing all these players back. Continuity is a big deal. I will tell you, though, it's no guarantee of anything. It really isn't. So, and our guys understand that for us to get to where we want to go, we just have to keep working. And I think we have the right leaders on our offense in particular that understand that. Defensively, some new faces. To go through some of the installs and find out what works, what doesn't work. But offensively, it's just going to be a matter of working first and then getting it to where we want to go.
All right, Coach, we've got a fan question for you, as we always do here on Browns Live. And Run PT Run says, with retaining a lot of the same roster as last year, are you looking to add more depth or an immediate upgrade to the roster? And I'm assuming he means in tonight's draft.
Can I say both?
You can, of course.
Yeah, I think where we are at 26, there will be a good football player there for us.
Yes.
The names that we have in mind, and there's multiple, I feel great about all of them. I think we run through the list, and I say I will be so excited if one of those guys is on our team at the end of this night. So we're excited for where we are. Does that person that we take tonight immediately start? I don't know. We'll see. But I know this. We're going to add a good football player to this team tonight, unless Andrew trades back, and then that'll happen tomorrow.
That'll happen tomorrow.
They'll add multiple tomorrow.
The thing that strikes you when you talk and you take a look at the roster and everything is you are going to be able to have some of the most incredible competition in practice, and fighting for roster spots is going to be fierce. I mean, there will be nothing guaranteed with this group. As a coach, how do you manage that? And one thing I think is so great about you, Coach, is what you see is what you get. Like, there's no nonsense with you. Tell it exactly like it is. And I think that'll help but that's going to be a tone setter for this team right away.
Competition. It gets, cream rises to the top. I told the team today on our call that we will likely add a player at your position.
Yeah.
So what does that do to you? Does that make you want to work harder? And you're competing for your job every day. And sometimes that competition occurs in your mind, you versus you. So I hope that our guys know that there's competition coming, and I hope that they know that they got to battle for every day. And that's kind of the mentality of where we are. You're going to have to earn it every day. That's how I feel when I walk in this building. I got to earn it every day.
Well, it says work everywhere you are
Yes.
around this building. We've got another fan question for our head coach from Reardo8. How soon do you start going over the playbook with the rookies?
Yeah, so the plan is to have a rookie mini camp May 14th weekend. So that's really the first time that we can get our hands on the guys and start that process. And that process with those rookies is open to page one. And there's no other way to do it. I wish this was the Matrix where you can plug into the back of their head. But we just got to start at the very how we call things. And that's the fun part. You do that every year with these rookies. We know their learning style. We know how they learn best through this draft process, understanding them. So we'll kind of go meet them where they are. And now the nice part for us this year is we have Cleveland Browns tape to show them.
Yep.
Whereas last year we were pulling stuff from the Vikings, pulling stuff from the Packers, pulling stuff from the Bengals, Patriots. So I think it'll be a little bit easier for guys to learn now they can kind of see our guys doing it.
Coach, well, it's almost time for the fun to begin. We really appreciate you being here with us. But before we go, I just want to let you know, talked to a lot of the players about their development plans, and they all love it. Bo and I, we know if we're not going forward, we're stagnant.
That's right.
So if you don't mind, we'd like to get on the development plan, train here so we can keep getting better as you keep getting better.
But you guys, you have to want to be coached. I don't get the vibe that you guys want to be coached.
Oh, no. Very coachable.
I get a little
He's
diva.
a little more
I get some
coachable than I am.
diva vibes
That's
from
probably
both of you.
true.
That's
so.
fair.
Thank you for
That's
saying
fair.
that.
Yeah,
That is
that's
fair.
fair.
But we want to. Maybe we'll put that on the plan. More coachable. Coach, thanks so much for the time,
Coach.
and
Good
good
seeing
luck
you.
tonight. All right, guys, we will be back with more of Browns Live's Draft Party presented by Graham and Fist Wine in a Can when Kareem Hunt joins us here on the set live.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of Man Can Wine.
And Graham and Fist, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our Rookie of the Year, 8.4 California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Awards.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
Welcome to Cleveland, home of the 2021 draft.
The Cleveland Browns select. He's got it! Touchdown! And here comes Chubb. He's going! He's going! He's gone! Nick Chubb is in! Touchdown!
Welcome to the land. Let's rock the clock.
At university hospitals, our sports medicine experts bring science and compassion together to develop personalized care plans for athletes at every level, from Pee-wee to pro. The same experts who care for the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Monsters, and the Cleveland Ballet keep our local athletes performing at their best. Schedule an appointment at uhsports.org. University Hospitals, the science of health, the art of compassion.
The door to a car you've been saving for. The door to a personal loan that feels genuinely personal. The door to a bedroom for each of your teenagers. The door to a new employee who's also your neighbor. And the door to a happy and full life for you and everyone you know. This year, KeyBank has already opened over 170,000 doors, helping people get from where they were to where they wanted to be. KeyBank opens doors.
Arby's, 2 for $6. Every day, Greek gyros and a spicy one. Opa! 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
Hey everybody, it's Chris Rose from NFL Network and from Cleveland, Ohio, having a great time in my hometown. Yesterday, I showed you Sauce the City, a great restaurant on the near west side. Today, it's all about fun and games, how you and your family and friends can participate in the NFL draft experience right here at First Energy Stadium. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, Chris, you got in for free. You got the cool Nathan Segura pullover, and well, that's true and all, but you can be a part of the party. Just download the NFL One Pass and off you go. Speaking of off we go, let's go talk to one of the people that put this shindig together. Let's go. All right, so tell me a little bit about the draft experience. What can people experience?
Sure, so this is the football interactive theme park. So reservations are free and they are in the NFL One Pass app. The Vince Lombardi Trophy will be here right outside the gates, our full collection of 54 Super Bowl rings. Here in the stadium, you can kick a field goal. We'll have play football clinics. You have a Hail Mary pass, a field goal kick, and then outside tons of food from local Cleveland concessions. We're having chalk talks with Browns players and legends. The Hall of Fame has an exhibit here, a nod to our friends in Canton. So something for everybody.
As somebody who works with the league and in the league, what do you hope to leave Cleveland with experience-wise and learn about this city?
I think for us, you have a very avid fan base, but there are fans, people that are going to come down that are not fans of football. We're trying to convert you. So we want you to be part of the dog pound when we leave town. So that's really what we're trying to do. It's something for everybody. Even if you just want to watch live music, we have an amazing lineup of concerts on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have the Black Pumas Friday night, Machine Gun Kelly, Homegrown Guy here on Saturday, and then Kings of Leon Thursday night. So there's music, there's cold Bud Light, there's games, there's merch, there's something for everybody.
All right, one of the great things you can do here, you can kick field goals. Now, I'm an old school straight on Don Cockroft, Mark Mosley, chin strapped down sort of guy. Let's go for it. I haven't kicked the ball since I was 13.
This is to win it. Snap is back, ball down, the kick on the way, line drive, the kick is good!
Whoa there!
A line drive that almost had yellow paint on it as it went over the crossbar!
All right, so I don't exactly have a bazooka arm, but it's all about accuracy at the NFL level. Let's see how I do. Okay, that wasn't good. Just killed my receiver. There we go. All right, a little deeper. That one's in. Yes! And the big one. Oh, God. You ran the wrong pattern. Okay, somewhere in between there is the net. Oh, this is. Okay. This was not a part of Stefanski's offense. It's got to be the wind. This is unbelievable. Oh, God, that's it. It's over. A one hopper! We'll take it. It's legal in baseball. Is anybody else sweating at home while doing this? You gotta be kidding me. Turn on the AC, please. All right, I even have an audience for the 40-yard dash. But you know, there's another host at the network who's better known for this.
Rich Eisen, Michigan.
High step on him, Rich. High step on him. High step on him. Look at that. Ah!
Rich, where you been?
Really, Rose?
Hey, I hope you have as much fun at the NFL draft experience as I had. Don't forget to download the NFL One Pass and off you go. Speaking of off we go, I'm headed to Progressive Field tomorrow for the Power of Sports Summit. I'll see you then.
The great Chris Rose there having fun at the NFL draft experience. Remember, download that One Pass app and so you can partake in all the fun at First Energy Stadium. Welcome back into the Browns Live Draft Party presented by Graham and Fists Wine in a Can. Nathan Segura, Bo Bishop, and a man who needs no introduction, the hometown hero, Kareem Hunt, joining us. Kareem, how you doing, man? It's great to see you.
Hey, I'm doing good. Ready to get back, started, getting things going again. So, but other than that, I'm doing great.
Kareem,
he's looking fantastic.
He looks
by
fantastic.
The way.
As you expect anything less. As a native Clevelander, you know this. The draft was this town's Super Bowl. Now the Super Bowl is this team's Super Bowl. this town's Super Bowl.
Right.
It's a different mindset, man. But you look at this roster. What are the needs? Don't really. Sure, we want to add talent, but we are pretty well stocked when you look at what everybody coming back on offense, what Andrew Berry did on defense. When you look at this roster, what do you see?
You know, I see a lot of talent for sure. You know, and you know, I'm excited to get back to work with these guys and you know, put this thing together and hopefully make a run. You know, that's our goal for sure.
I know you guys were close and you want even more this year, but what was it like to be a part of something that was so special? And I even know when we were in Pittsburgh, you had family with signs up for you in the crowd in Pittsburgh. To have that win and to have that emotion, to feel what that meant to the city, are you able to reflect now on kind of how special that season was?
Yeah, it was definitely special. You know, it was, you know, something great, and it'll be remembered for a long, long time. And now it's time to build off that. You know, I don't like looking in the past, and we still came up short, and you know, I had goals to, you know, go further than what we did. So, you know, we got a taste to get back out there.
Well, that's hungry, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I sense on this roster is there's a lot of that, because I think that it had been a while since that type of thing had been accomplished. You know, doing what we did, make the playoffs, win a playoff game without our head coach, mind you, in the playoff game, which is crazy. But what I sensed from you guys was, nah. We want to get right back to there, and you know this in the league. There's no carryover. You start from scratch every year, but I do sense that hunger when we talk to you guys.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, we feel like we left some, you know, plays out there and, you know, a couple W's. So we just gotta, you know, come together as a team. Exactly what you said. We starting from scratch. It doesn't matter what happened last year. It's time to, you know, roll. So that's what we're gonna have to do.
You are starting from scratch, but at the same time, you guys are running it back on offense. I mean, you've been in your meetings now, and you look on the Zoom, it's all the same faces.
Right.
Same offensive linemen, same tight ends, same receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, same coaches, same scheme, which is not something we've had consecutive years for a long time here. Is that nice? And have you ever experienced anything like that at any level?
Yeah, it's building chemistry, honestly. You know, it's very nice. And, you know, hopefully we get to play together for a long, long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, last year, you and Nick Chubb, fourth running back tandem in the history of the NFL, both have over 1,200 total yards and 12 touchdowns, including the playoffs in a single season. And I know that you'd say we can do even more this year. So what do you and Nick talk about as you guys get ready for this to go be, you know, the most dominant and electric running back duo in this league?
You know, honestly, we just take it play by play and, you know, make the most out of each and every play we can. And, you know, Nick's a great tailback. I love him to death, and I know he's going to be ready, so I make sure I train myself to be ready too. So,
I mean, we can see that.
We can see that, yeah.
Yes, we got some fan questions for you. Browns Live, always about our fans. We got a question for Kareem Hunt right now, and Chris, he says, have you and Chubb met up to work out together?
We have not this year, but we did last year when everything was going on when COVID first started.
Does he talk in the gym? Or is
I don't think Chubb talks to anybody, you know.
I don't think he does.
He's told what to do, and he does it.
He just gets it done.
Yeah.
That's why you guys work out really well, though,
right,
as a tandem, because you guys really balance each other pretty well, man. It's crazy to think that you guys are coming back and running that group back and to think what's capable of. And by the way, not only running it back, a healthy Odell Beckham Jr. in that mix as well. And boy, you would have loved to have him for a whole season. You think what he's going to be able to do, just adding another element to what this offense will be able to do. Kevin Stefanski, Baker constantly tinkering with it. What do you think this offense is capable of next season?
We're capable of a lot of things, you know. We just got to fix up some little tweaks and stuff like that, and we're getting some of our big-time players back too. So, you know, I'm excited to see this.
When you sit back and you look at the offseason, right, and you see guys who are household names or guys who are regarded as the tops at their position wanting to come here and join you guys, and it happened on the defensive side this offseason, but to come join this offense and this team and this organization, and you know where Cleveland was not even that many years ago.
Right.
What's it like to be a part of that and to see Jadeveon Clowney say, yeah, I need to come here, and John Johnson III, yes, I must come be a Cleveland Brown, and a Youngstown guy, Troy Hill, get me back home to the Browns?
You know, it's a good feeling. You know, we're building something special here, and hopefully we continue doing this. You know, I feel like we can make a run for a long, long time. We definitely got the guys to do it, and I believe in the coaches too. So.
Yeah, and I think you would know more than anybody about that. We're sitting here And Jim Brown's over there. Paul Warfield's over there. Bill Willis. You know what it would mean to win here.
Right.
To win big. You know what the Cavs parade's that was a big deal, and we're appreciative of it. That is nothing compared to what would happen if this happens here. This is what we do. It's football. It's what we do in Ohio.
Yeah. Honestly, being from here, I've never seen anything like it. I was definitely here when the Cavs won it, and I was excited, but I know if the Browns do it, that'd be different for sure.
It certainly would. We had a fan question for you again. What was it like scoring the 2 touchdowns against the Steelers? And, of course, my favorite one where you run the linebacker over at about the 5, take him in, get down. Let me get some push-ups in here, get a little workout while I'm at it. What was that feeling and that emotion like?
The feeling was just, it was a great feeling. And when I got in there, I didn't want to be denied, You
were not denied.
Yeah, I smelt the end zone pretty much. The O-line did a great job of just making a little crease for me, and after that, I wouldn't be denied. I was going to take it from there.
Kareem, have you thought about how competitive camp will be? You think about these additions. Jadeveon Clowney's on this team.
Right.
John Johnson's on this team. You think about how competitive, and then for spots, just roster spots. Obviously, nothing you need to worry about, but this is going to be a fight for spots to get on this roster.
Most definitely, but that brings out the best in all the guys, so I'm excited to see it, and I hope everybody shows up, ready to battle.
They better show up ready.
Yeah, ready to battle.
Iron sharpens iron. Let's get another question here. Any goals for the upcoming season, either personal or team, that you have that you're working on? We know you got a development plan. Kevin Stefanski gave himself a development plan, the reigning coach of the year. So what are kind of your goals here in 2021?
Just, find a way to lead and help, bring a Super Bowl. My only goal is to win a Super Bowl right now.
I love it.
Whatever it takes, how many carries or whatever, anything like that. I'm going to do whatever I can to help. That's what I want.
That's obvious in the play.
That's the only goal. That's the only goal. Yeah, there is no other goal right now.
Can we get to September already?
No,
is this thing, last year's offseason was so crazy. There wasn't really an offseason, the pandemic. This year, you guys have the team. You guys have proven it. Are you hungry to get back out there? Does this feel like it's going to be a long time till you get to get back on the field and play some games?
Yeah, most definitely, but it's coming fast. It'll be here before we know it.
I know. We can't wait.
It'll be here.
We can't wait. Kareem, thank you so much for the time. A pleasure to see you and to be in person with you. It's a sign already.
Right.
Yeah,
Things are happening in 2021. It's been a while.
you.
Kareem, thank you so much. All right, we'll be back to wrap things up here on the Browns Draft Party presented by Graham & Fist Wine in a Can. We're going to talk about the offseason and take a look towards tonight's draft. Where could the Browns be going? Positions, players, all of that next.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of Man Can Wine.
And Graham & Fist Wine in a Can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Awards.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
Wendy's new jalapeno popper chicken sandwich and salad prove Wendy's goes all in on flavor. Unlike...
We put a bun inside the sandwich. Bun, bun, bun.
Hurry into Wendy's and try the new jalapeno popper chicken duo today.
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm putting extra spring in our spring cleaning sale.
Is that what you call it?
During our spring cleaning sale,
Lease a new Trax for $99 a month or a new Equinox for $149 a month.
and get our free 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
If you're worried about bad credit, no problem. We can help.
So if you're thinking Chevy,
Think Serpentini in Westlake, Medina, Willoughby Hills, Talmadge, Orville, and Strongsville.
American
And proud of it. Pretty good springs for an old guy.
Great philosopher Socrates once said, "To find yourself, think for yourself." Great philosopher Arby's once said, "Y'all ever put spicy sauce on a 2 for €6?" Arby's, we have the meats.
Discount Drug Mart is your trusted hometown healthcare provider and your immunization destination. And now Drug Mart is your convenient, quick, and safe destination for the COVID-19 vaccine. Simply register for your free vaccine at covid.discount-drugmart.com. No endlessly searching for an appointment. Contact you in the way that works best for you. Then you will choose the date and time to schedule your vaccination. Simple as that. Discount Drug Mart is proud to serve our communities.
No matter how early you're up or how late you're running, When you start your day at Speedway, we've got what you need to have a good morning. We've got it hot. We've got it cold. We've got it sprinkled. We've got it ready. We're here to make your morning a little better. Because when you get off to a better start, you go on to a better day. The official convenience store of the Cleveland Browns.
Wendy's new jalapeno popper chicken sandwich and salad prove Wendy's goes all in on flavor. Unlike...
We put a bun inside the sandwich. Bun, bun, bun.
Hurry into Wendy's and try the new jalapeno popper chicken duo today.
Welcome back into the Browns Live Draft Party presented by Graham and Fist Wine in a Can. And Bo, we've been having a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
We're inching closer to the start of the 2021 NFL Draft. But boy, Kevin Stefanski, Kareem Hunt here. Great to see them. And folks, that's the first time that we have been in person with those two guys in a long time. Maybe for me since the time Stefanski was drafted.
Boy, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's been weeks. I mean, it's been 60 weeks since I've been in the building. We were out here at camp, but like in the building, it's been an awful long time. And I miss people, miss seeing you face to face. Usually over a screen, my friend. And it was great to hear from Coach. And I think what you got from Coach, and you and I discussed this in one of the breaks, but just a real calm to him. Like he knows, and he always had that about him. But also was very driven in a chaotic year last year and was focused week in and week out and just laser focused on the task at hand. And I think what you saw is a man that his plan is being executed. The things, and he and Andrew Berry, the things that they wanted to get done this offseason, they're getting done. Tonight's a big night, but it's AB's night. And I think they view it kind of like you have the answers to the test.
Yep.
So all it is just executing it. And that's where we are right now. It's a remarkable thing.
It was great to see. So relaxed, so comfortable, so fun. And Kareem Hunt, if I took anything away from that, he's in tremendous condition already. I mean, he looked great. But when he said, what are your goals? We want to win a Super Bowl. That's the only goal. That's it. That's the list.
Well, when we were, and when we were, you watch him play, and that's how he plays.
Passion.
Like I remember, so much. And I remember people concerned about, carries and all that stuff. And I just never got that vibe from him. Not from Jump Street when he got here. Nose down, team, whatever is necessary, let's win, and that's all that matters. And that's what you're getting out of him now. He's really one of the great leaders on this team. He is.
He is, and he gets what it means to this city and to you, the great fans here of the Cleveland Browns. And all right, let's turn our attention now to the matter at hand. Obviously, we know Aaron Rodgers has kind of turned the draft on its ear with the news that he wants out of Green Bay, and he wants out of Green Bay now. Could something go down tonight? And if so, I think then now all bets are off.
Well, there's dominoes that start to fall. And I saw Peter Schrager of NFL Network saying there's a feeling among GMs in the league, Z, that this could happen, that there could be a monster deal tonight that could happen. And I think it has to. And we were talking to Dane about that, and that's why I asked him the question because, boy, now's the time to do it. The draft capital is tonight. It's a first-round pick is going to be involved. I look at Denver and I say, boy, if you're Denver, you're set up for this. This wasn't in the plan. You went and get Bridgewater. You're going to go handle that. You're going to get a look at Locke, maybe a draft a quarterback, stability, all of that. But now all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers is on the table. You got a Packers team that doesn't look like they have many options here if he's willing to really sit it out. If I'm Denver, I go 9, and what do you need?
Yeah, and then listen, we heard Dane talk about how people are viewing 2022 picks as gold, so it could be something this year and then some picks from the future that entice the Packers to make a move. And frankly, they're not in the greatest position as it comes to leverage because Aaron Rodgers has just said no thanks and doing it very, very publicly. But again, the good news for us here, wearing these helmets, not our problem. We've got our guy Baker Mayfield. We're set at the quarterback position. And so tonight we have 9 picks. We start at number 26 here in the first round. You see that, number 59 in the second round, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th. And as you mentioned earlier, it doesn't seem likely that 9 rookies would be making this team. And so I think you could see a combination of picks being put together to move up and get somebody that the Browns want, or could be pushed into 2022 when this roster could be different. Because you do have to realize, folks, there are a lot of guys that we are counting on to play big roles on this team that are nearing either the end of their contracts or are on one-year deals, and you still got to handle Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward, their extensions, Nick Chubb, perhaps Wyatt Teller as well. So there are a lot of guys you got to make sure you're keeping, but at the same time, plan for now and the future.
Well, yeah, and we got the perfect guy to do that, Andrew Berry because he's playing three-dimensional chess is what he's doing right now. And it's something that when you think about, and that's something we've talked a lot about on the show when we talk about the receiver position, and we'll get some pushback like, well, what, we don't need a receiver. Sure, it could be for now. Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody like what McCole Hardman does for the Chiefs? 10 to 15 plays a game where the defense goes, boy, now we got to deal with this guy on a jet sweep or getting deep. But also for down the road, because from in that position room especially, when you talk about being on contract under obligation for next year, it's not there. So you got to do some future planning. Andrew Berry will do that.
He certainly will, and that'll get us in. Before we get into looking at our positions for the draft, let's talk quickly about this offseason. And in Andrew Berry's first offseason, it was all about the offense. Jack Conklin comes in to be your right tackle. Jedrick Wills drafted 10th overall to be your left tackle. You get a fullback, Andy Janovich. You bring in the tight end, Austin Hooper. And so that's kind of was the focus there on the offensive side of the ball. The big splash is Case Keenum as well comes in to back up Baker Mayfield. This year, it was the defense, and you can go at all three levels. We'll start at the back end with John Johnson III, and what a signing that was. And everybody we've talked to, and I know you have even better insight than I, but not only a great player, great human, great leader.
I don't know if our fans are fully aware of how great he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there is. I mean, he's a top 5 safety in this league who was beloved with the Rams. Beloved, a leader, one of the franchise cornerstones for them. They viewed him that way. They hated to lose him. The problem was because of all their contract situations, they really didn't have a choice. So for us to identify him right away, and you think about this, and I'll never forget that conversation with Joe Woods. You think about John Johnson, Harrison, Delpit healthy. All three of those guys can do multiple things. You put them all on the field at the same time as an offense. You tell me where it's coming from. I don't know because they can all do everything. The amount of versatility we're going to have with him. Folks, be excited about that signing. That's a monster signing.
A monster indeed. And you add Troy Hill, his teammate who had 3 defensive touchdowns a year ago, a couple of pick sixes, a Youngstown kid who was one of the best slot corners in the NFL. And so he said, oh, the Rams, they were pretty good last year, weren't they? You see a scoop and score here from Hill as he had 3 defensive scores on the season. You say, well, they were the #1 pass defense in the league, Bo. Do you think it would make sense to take 40% of their starting secondary and bring it here to Cleveland? Yeah, that feels like a pretty good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's going to allow, one of the things that I think maybe was lost at times this year was just the job that Joe Woods did in adverse conditions.
Completely.
And they were incredibly adverse conditions, just with injuries that we didn't anticipate. You and I were at camp. We saw Grant Delpit. We knew what he was going to be, and that happened early. Greedy happened early. Those things happen, and you have to adjust on the fly, and he did a heck of a job while being pretty hamstrung with the roster. He won't be. He'll be able to play the exact type of defense that he wants to play next season, and Hill's a big part of that. Johnson's a big part of that. I know we're going to get to what we have up front. That's a big part of it.
It's a huge part of it. We'll go kind of chronologically here from the back end right to the middle. Anthony Walker Jr. coming in, the linebacker, who's been a tackling machine for the Indianapolis Colts. And, when he came in, he said, okay, Anthony Walker, all right. And then you hear what Darius Leonard has to say about him. And Darius Leonard was a first-team All-Pro as a rookie, one of the best linebackers in the league. And he basically said, I owe so much of my success to Anthony Walker. He always is smart, a great leader in the locker room. And it's kind of that theme. Again, smart, tough, and accountable, great on the field, great in the locker room as well.
I'll never forget when you did the exclusive one-on-one with him, the first interview that he did, and you said, I felt like he was my age. And he's like,
wise,
he's so
mature.
Wise. Like he's what is he, 24,
well,
25?
Maybe I'm just a big kid. I don't know.
Well, that's true, probably. You're safe, pal. But I mean, he is so mature and such a, when he talks, you listen. And so when you hear Darius Leonard say what he says, you take note, because I have never seen that. Not from somebody that young who viewed a peer in the way that he did and then to go public with it. I'd never seen that before.
Me neither. Now let's go to the front, and this is where it gets exciting. And Chris Kiffin, he's fired up. The Browns defensive line coach Joe Woods is fired up. Jadeveon Clowney, the former #1 overall pick. And did you know there have been 2 defensive players taken #1 overall in the last decade? Both of them are Browns, Clowney and Myles Garrett. He is hungry. He is excited to be here. He felt wanted by the Browns and wants to come and make an impact. And that versatility, can play inside, outside. You also bring in Takk McKinley, who I love. I think Takk McKinley's going to have a big year. You go back and put on week 1 last year against Seattle. 6 quarterback hits, a sack in that game before his season was derailed from injury. Former first-rounder who can fly off the edge. And look at how about this. We're going to get some highlights from that Seattle game.
There it is right there, yeah.
But he's a force And then you bring in Malik Jackson as well, somebody that Joe Woods knows oh so well from their time together in Denver. They won a Super Bowl and were considered to have one of the best defenses in the league. Those three now on your front. Andrew Billings coming back after opting out a year ago. And so you really have the makings of a dangerous defense. And I think we're going to add more talent to it tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday.
Yeah, I think we forget about Billings a lot. I think because he's opted out, so we didn't see him last year. And then Jordan Elliott's here, too. We like him a lot.
They like a lot.
Clowney's the headline. I mean, that's it. And I think when you start to see what he's going to be able to do operating with Miles, next to Miles in passing situations, you say it often, third and long, wouldn't want to be the opposition. And that's kind of where you're at when you talk about Clowney adding to this mix. He is a presence. He is a presence. He has been the number one player at every team he's been on almost his whole life. Going back to high school, he's a presence when he's here. To be able to play alongside Miles, forget it.
Hey, he's one of the most double-team guys in the league, and he told me, Myles Garrett being here, that played a little bit of a factor in my decision to become a Brown. So that's kind of setting the scene, setting the roster, running it back on offense, talents added, all three levels of the defense. So where does that leave the Browns, who start with pick number 26 tonight? Where could they be looking in this first pick today?
Honestly, and you and I have talked about this so much on Cleveland Browns Daily. I just come back to, it's two words. It's not even a position. It's elite traits. Sure, if it's a corner, absolutely. If it's a receiver, fine, elite traits. It could be one of those linebackers. It could be JOK. It could be Zaven Collins. Certainly that is not a position that I would think that we would need. I think we like our linebackers more than a lot of people think that we do. But I pose this to you all the time, and I think it just comes down to, does this person present the elite traits that we have to have him on our roster? And that's a position of strength, folks. And that's the position we'll be in tonight. I don't think you can pare it down to a position. I think it's more the traits.
I think you're right. And if it's a linebacker like a Jamin Davis, it's his ability in coverage to play sideline to sideline. You're looking for some of those traits. As you look at the roster, cornerback does jump out because we're going to play a lot of cornerbacks. Terrence Money Mitchell, who led our team in snaps last year, Kevin Johnson, both depart in free agency. You've got Denzel. You got Troy Hill, who we talked about. You get Greedy Williams back. But as we've noted, Greedy's coming off an injury that cost him an entire season, and Denzel has missed some time each of his 3 years in the league. And we've got some good veterans. MJ Stewart, of course, who stepped up in Week 17, a big pick against the Steelers in that wild card game. But I think corner is a place the Browns certainly could be looking. And as we talked with Dane Brugler, it's unlikely, unfortunately, J.C. Horn, a guy that many people love, it sounds like he's going to be gone maybe in the top 12 in this draft. You got guys now, Caleb Farley, medical wild card, no combine this year. How does that play out? Top talent, but we don't know about the medicals. And so it's going to be interesting at this position with those guys and Surtain and then Greg Newsome from Northwestern, who's been, mocked to the Browns. That position, and then you get into the next group. Asante Samuel Jr., son of a player. Elijah Molden, son of a former player. The Georgia guys, Stokes and Campbell. So many options for Andrew Berry to find, let it come to me. Maybe we go first round, maybe it's second round. Maybe we go somewhere else altogether.
What's the one word? You talked to Joe Woods, we talked to our head coach, Kevin Stefanski. It's versatile.
Yep.
Andrew Berry can be versatile tonight. He can go a lot of different ways. He can go up if he needs to. He can get out if he needs to. He can go to a lot of different position groups because this roster is so complete as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, we have you covered all night long here for the 2021 NFL Draft. Coming up at 7, it's Browns Countdown on News 5. Myself and John Doss, head coach Kevin Stefanski, and we will have many, many guests for you, breaking it down, getting you ready, leading up to the kickoff of the draft, which is at 8 o'clock. You can watch it on the NFL Network, ESPN, ABC, but you can listen to the Cleveland Browns Draft Show, 92.3 The Fan and ESPN 850, all along the University Hospitals Cleveland Browns radio network. Will be with you till midnight at least. Bo's volunteered me until 1. We'll see how it plays out, but we will be with you to get that analysis on the Browns pick here tonight as well. So, Bo, big night tonight with the draft. It gets started, but we can kind of sit back and relax, soak it all in, see what chaos potentially unfolds, and then, as you said, be versatile, be patient. The 3 Ps, folks, you know them already, right? They're prepared. They've got a plan and a process to implement the plan, and we're going to see that begin to unfold here tonight.
Comfortable, comfortable, comfortable. That's where I am. I'm comfortable. We know what this front office can do. We've seen it now. 2 offseasons in free agency, 1 draft, execute another one tonight. I feel like we have the answers to the test. I just can't wait to see it unfold.
Me neither. We are going to get a peek to that cheat sheet, hopefully later here tonight. Bo, it was great to be with you in person again. Pure joy, my friend.
Pure joy, brother.
Pure joy. We will see where the Cleveland Browns go from here. But before we go, I've got a surprise for you. Put this on your calendar, May 12th, 7:30. Myself and Joe Thomas. It is the Browns Live schedule release special. And what makes it special this year? Well, we're going to get the schedule a half hour before it's released on NFL Network. So you want to see the 2021 17-game schedule for the first time ever before anybody else? Tune in to Browns Live. For our great production crew back in the back, we say thank you to Bo Bishop, to head coach Kevin Stefanski, Kareem Hunt. I'm Nathan Zagura saying thanks for watching the Browns Live Draft Party presented by Graham & Fisk's Wine in a Can.